Hey guys, Sarah here. Oh my goodness, I just inked up a couple of pens and, well, these are all the pens I need to clean. And I was like, I should really do that first. No, I don't want to, that's boring. And oh my God, did I pay for it because I've got ink everywhere. I've somehow gotten a cartridge stuck in my vintage Lady Schaefer. Oh, very annoying. But the rule, we say it's a rule that I made for myself for the pens I just wanted to ink up today was that I wanted to finish off some samples. So I've inked up 5 pens. Maybe there's not so much of a theme, but that was my rule for myself. I don't know if I'm going to do a currently inked on a monthly basis. I'm just going to do it as I want to ink new ones and unink and as I explore things, and I don't know exactly how I want to capture it in my ink book, so I'm just doing it in this. This is a Traveller's Company regular size with a grid. Oh God, I haven't spaced it out, but we shall see. So, and maybe I shouldn't have written January, but I can't believe I'm just so upset about this, how I've got this card. I don't know if it's salvageable, which is really, really upsetting, but that can be a future Sarah problem. January currently inked. I don't exactly know when this video will come out, but inked on Thursday, 8 Jan 2006. Oh, okay. I haven't done one of these in forever. Am I ever even going to remember what these pens are called? Oh, I feel very discombobulated. The other thing I'm going to do is because I finish the samples, when I finish a sample, this isn't in a pen, there's not enough in there. I literally had enough to do that. And then I am putting swatch cards of inks samples that I've finished and don't have any more in this Traveller's Company card slot book. That's like one of my all-time favorite inks, but no more. So I will do that at the end. Am I in view? Yep, all right, let's see. Am I even going to remember what is in here? So first up, this is my Pens by Casey pen. The resin blank was from a local resin maker. I bought this from Casey at the 2024 Melbourne Pen Show. Casey's incredible, and something I really love is that there's like a little love heart. Just when I bought this, it had been at that time that Casey had changed and started using Mr. Cypress nibs. Am I even in? And I definitely love this writing experience. It's a fine nib. And this is inked, and usually this is something very not me, but it's actually inked with a color that doesn't match the blank. Sorry, I didn't even finish that. Oh, I'm all over the place. Casey had called it, it's like a salmon. And I think that they had kind of named the blank the local catch. So that's what I will name it. And it's inked with Robert Oster Muddy Swamp, which doesn't necessarily match, but I thought it could kind of go nicely with some of those darker bits. So do I want to do square there and then there? Yeah, okay, let's just dive in. Don't overthink it. But probably regret it later. So I'm trying to remember what nibs Casey was using before Cypress. It wasn't Bach. what was he using? Anyway, whatever it was, I definitely do find this, the cypress nibs, nicer, but I wonder if they're also a touch thicker. Like you'll see in terms of how this is a fine nib. Right, so this is Pens by Casey, and I'll call it Local Catch, with a fine nib, and it's inked with Robert Foster Muddy Sock. Why did I do a full stop? Will we ever know? There's the first one. Next up is a Lamy Safari. It's the tangerine. What colour is this? I'll just call it a Lamy Super Ochre and Aussie Mate, Lamy Safari. And I inked this with Teranishi Inks Orchestral Tangerine. Finished up that sample. What a brilliant ink name. This has an extra fine nib. I don't know if it's because it's coated in the black or whatever else. I've always found this nib just ever so slightly scratchy. And I actually wonder, I don't know if I should try and smooth it out. When I was just priming them before, one second. A tiny bit of water. The pen was clean, or I thought it was clean, because like the converter was clean, but then the pen, I'm not sure if it had a little bit of brown left in it. So we'll see if it comes out brown or the very obvious orchestral tangerine. But yeah, just compared to the other Lamy I have, this nib just isn't as smooth against the paper. Like I don't like using it on any paper that has any sort of tooth to it, because then the feedback feels almost too much. But then in other combinations, or if I can get the right ink matching, then the feedback and the sound, the sensory sound of it can be incredible. So I don't know if I'm confident enough to try and smooth it out a little bit, but something's just a touch different. Why am I going blue then orange? Who knows? But yeah, there's some sort of remnants of a brown in that nib, isn't there? And I know, like, we talk about wet and dry inks. If I was to use that same language, I'd almost say it feels like a drier nib. Is the best way I can explain it. So this is you can hear that. I hope it's picking it up. Lamy Safari. Let's call it it's the matte. It's terracotta. That's what it is. How do I spell terracotta like that? Let's do that in extra fine. And look, the next pen that I'm going to do is the Kaweco, so it'd be interesting just to hear the difference. I hope that is being picked up. It's just got a touch more feedback. There's just something, and sometimes it works really well, and other times I'm not drawn to it. But I thought the orchestral tangerine would look nice in this pen. So, it just hard started then. I don't know if you saw that. Teranishi inks, who knows, orchestral tangerine. I love that there's like the orchestral tangerine, emotional olive, classic burgundy. I think there's one more. Fantastic names. That is not what it looks like. There's some brown left. That's what it looks like on the swatch. Is that even? Oh, what a mess, what a mess, what a big, big mess. Next up, Kaweco Sport White. with the gold trims, and this is a fine nib. 2 spaces, and this is inked up with Sailor Ink Studio 280. Sad to finish off this sample because I do like this ink. So I wonder if, well, let's listen and see if you can tell a difference. In white, in the fine nib, and it's Sailor Ink Studio. And look, with the fine nib, I'm probably not going to get some of the chroma shading that you can get with that ink, but I kind of thought that the greeny, with that kind of dirty brown undertone, green and white would look nice together. I know when I used to post videos routinely, I don't know if I remember, I think at one point, or having a conversation with someone, it was like the dirty inks, like, you know, yes, muddy is maybe a nicer version of the word, but something about those dirty inks I was always really drawn to, I quite like. Next up, this is a fine writing instrument. I don't remember what the actual pen name's called. I actually have 2 of these. I bought one for myself, and then my kids actually got me one for my birthday. I guess a couple of years ago with the support of my ex. But so this one though is the Fine Flex, and I'll just show you here. And this has Robert Oster, Oklahoma, which I thought I don't know, it'd be nice to kind of do some writing practicey stuff. It's not a super flexi pen. It doesn't flood the page, so I can use it just for normal note taking and stuff as well. Maybe I'm thinking too much about the sound of that one now that I write with these. Instruments. Robert Oster. I haven't done a flex anywhere, but I kind of want to keep it all as one, I think. And finally, this is a pen that I've also realized I think I have 4 Robert Oster inks here. This is the Sailor pocket pen. I don't know if it was new old stock or vintage. It's got the 18 carat nib there. I was just seeing what else it said. I love my Pilot E95S, and I just haven't ever fallen in love with this pen as much. I think one day I want to ink up both of them with the same ink and just go between, like maybe for a week, just do just those 2 pens and just really work out the differences of why I'm kind of really drawn to one again and again and again, and not so much this one. But I thought before doing that I'd give it a go. And this also has a Robert Oster ink in it. Oh, it's going to hard start on me, which is Sydney Lavender. It's just, I don't know, it's a bit of a dry pen. The flow, something with the flow, yeah, I'm just not liking as much. Sailor, let's call it pocket pen. If you know what it's actually called, let me know. 18 carat, and it's the fine. Is fine, yep. And this is Robert Oster, Sydney. Like, I feel like when this ink is in other pens, I don't know, it has more oomph to it, more depth. I don't know if there's a way maybe to give the feed a really good flush, but somewhat of a frazzled video as I'm just berating myself with what I've done with this Lady Schaefer. It's like one of my favourite pens, but whether this is my currently inked for January, whether this is my currently inked for right now, this is what it looks like. And I definitely need to clean those other pens. I'll just bring it up close here. So 5 pens. The pen that I use just to write that heading, I don't really count, but I'm kind of doing all of my titles just with this Anoto vintage. What model is it? Actually don't know what model. Anoto vintage pen. There's your size 22 14 karat nib there that has a really nice flex to it, and I'm just kind of routinely putting Diamond Line Grey in that. But that's just kind of how that pen's staying for the time being. And I didn't put that in a pen because I didn't have enough, but I am now going to add these 6 swatches to my little travelers of samples that I no longer have, that I finished up. So it does feel good to finish up a couple of swatches. But let's quit while I'm not ahead. I mean, we'll probably be almost at the end of January by the time I get this up. So I would love to know what you've been inking up for January. For those that were consistently inking up pens throughout 2025, have you kind of landed on a number of inked pens that works for you? Are you kind of just doing it as you go, or are you going, nope, I ink up 8 for January and that's it, or I might ink up some and then do, other else? I find people's habits and the process in which that you work out what works for you really interesting. I'm always really interested to hear. So I'd love to know, I guess, your learnings from last year, and then if there's anything you're going to change going into this year. And yeah, what's been your favourite pairing for January so far? I'm really looking forward to hearing, so leave a comment because I'd love to hear, and if I end up having the same ink or pen, I might I'd always love to try off other people's experiences, so I might put that one on my list for next time. Thanks as always, guys. I'll speak to you soon.